versus Wolfe.
Koenig versus Wolfe. I'm Doug Wolfe with Clay Koenig. And Clay, your editorial is what? And we're going to have fun with this.
We are going to have fun. My youngest, who just turned 16, he wants a car. And the other three children that I have got a car when they were 17. So he is trying to talk to me about why he should have a car at 16 instead of 17. So this is real life stuff, real life stuff.
Okay. First of all, you said he's learning on a minivan?
Learning on a minivan, yeah. Point A to point B, safe. Honda Odyssey, one of the safest minivans out there. It's a 2003. Doesn't have very high miles on it. Had it since the kids were babies. And
it's a 20-year-old van.
Yeah, 20-year-old van.
Okay.
And he doesn't want to drive a minivan.
All right. Both my kids learned, all three of my kids, sorry, I had three kids. Forgot about one. They all learned on a minivan.
All learned on a minivan.
But I bought them a car when they got a license. You need to buy the kid a car. I'm siding with him.
Doug.
First of all, in your editorial, you said, well, if he puts up 5,000, I'll put up 5,000.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
You got a job?
He doesn't have a job.
So basically, you gave yourself an out. Because you knew darn well he isn't going to come up with the $5,000.
No, wait a minute.
How cheap can you be?
Wait a minute. Because these kids are about entitlement. I'm serious, Doug. I've never seen anything like it. My first car, $100. It was a VW Beetle. Now, look, I understand. This is back in 1985. I get it. Prices have changed. But, this VW Bug was rolled, so the top of it was all dented. We had a blast in this thing. It was 4-speed on the floor and everything like that. Learned how to drive a clutch. In fact, the lady who sold it to me, she was trying to teach me, and I kept popping the clutch, and we were going back and forth, and we had a blast with it. But I didn't care what it looked like. I just wanted to get to my buddy's house or go out and find the party in the weekends or what have you. That's why we had it.
All right. Now, I know you drive a truck the size of a house. You come up front where the parking lot is being paved all summer. You take up 3 parking spots so the rest of us can't park, right? I have to go park on the grass.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Now, listen. You seem to think that for $10,000, he can go out and get what you called a solid car.
Absolutely.
Have you priced used vehicles lately?
Now, wait a second now. Doug, the 3 vehicles that I bought were previous to COVID, and they all ranged anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000. Okay, and they're solid vehicles. These cars are 10 years old. Might have a couple of dents here and there, but they're safe, and that's all I care about is really safety. I want them safe.
You haven't bought a car recently, though. Cars are not 10,000 anymore, at least the safe ones, and lower mileage. If you go out and buy a 10,000-mile car, you're going to spend more on repairs in the long run than if you went out and bought him a $20,000 car.
Well, I mean, it's all relevant at this point because he has been told no 1,000,000 times that he's going to not get any car when he's 16.
You need to go home and tell him yes. Get him a car.
This is not the way I thought it was going to go. But I'm glad that we're
siding with the kid.
I know
I'm
you are.
siding with the kid.
Okay, why though? Why?
Well, we have to take a break, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, very good. You're back with Koenig versus Wolfe, and it truly is Koenig versus Wolfe today, as Doug has surprised me by siding with my young, fine son. So we talked about what's the reason that he should get a car. Tell me.
Safety.
Okay.
And getting him to a job, so if he has a job, he can get to work. Do you want him showing up in a clunker, a 20-year-old clunker?
I don't care. I think it builds character. I don't see why these kids, I mean, he's showing me hot rods, and I will say, there's this kid, I don't know if it's a foreign exchange student, the kid's from Mexico, but he sent him a picture of his truck, and the whole truck has been made into the Mexico flag. I mean, it is sharp, there's no doubt about it. And Gabriel, you're not getting a truck like that right now. So it's
He
as
didn't
simple
have
as
to.
that. Yeah.
You get him a more conservative vehicle at a decent price. Look, get the kid a car. He has good grades. You said one of the things in your editorial, well, if he gets good grades, he has good grades.
He's got great grades.
Base it on the grades now.
He's a great athlete. He's a great student. Like I said in public, he's got pretty good manners.
He's a good kid.
He's a very good kid.
Then you owe it to him to get him the vehicle.
I certainly will in 360 more days.
Do it now.
When he turns 17, I can't
do it now. There are a lot of car dealers out there struggling right now. They need a sale.
Oh, yeah, they're struggling all right. They're struggling, no doubt about it. Look, I just want something safe from point A to point B. I can give you a list of my vehicles that I had as a kid from 16 to 20 years old. 74 VW Beetle. Then I went to an 81 Chevrolet Chevette. And then I had an 82 Chevette. And then I had a 307 Malibu that I actually bought from my father, and then I went to my final Chevette. So I had 3 Chevettes growing up because they were
What are
like
you driving
throwaway cars.
now?
I'm driving. I'm driving a truck. You already talked about that.
What kind of truck?
It's an all black Dodge Ram. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I have seen it.
Well,
I can't park in the parking lot because you're taking up 3 spots.
now wait.
You come in and park sideways.
wait. The reason I do that is because I don't want to take up your guys' tire stops, and I had them make a separate on the edge of the grass, out of the picture. I just wanted to be out of the way of everybody so they could have their places to park. And I park with the front. It is a little close to the door, but I'm getting older.
You don't want to park in a junker out in front of your house, do you?
I'm not driving a junker. I've already drove my clunkers.
No, I'm talking about him.
No, if he wants, I'll be proud if he pulled up that minivan, but he's not taking my spot. He can use one of the tire stops.
Did you ever drive a minivan?
I drive a minivan.
Now, see, I said my kids, I trained my kids, but
Right.
my son got a Ford Explorer, got my
Okay.
daughter a Honda, and my other kid got a Jeep Compass with leather seats and all that.
Well, you're a fantastic dad. There's
I
no
am.
doubt about it.
I am.
Okay, and look, let me tell you something about this minivan. My truck is broken down. Other vehicles have broken down in the family, and the minivan is always constant. It always starts. Wintertime doesn't make a difference. It's really the only vehicle that we can count on 24/7, 365.
Is that right?
And that is the minivan that we have chose to give to our son so he can drive for a year.
Why is it a year make a difference?
Because, let me tell you something. That's a great question. In this last year, in the process of learning patience. Now, these are other editorials we can talk about.
He's going to fire me
No,
after
no,
this.
no, honestly, I'm telling you, I've never been taught patience in my life. I really haven't. And I think right now I'm going through patience. And I want him to see that if he can have a little bit of patience at this age, I think preparing themselves for life in the future, if you have patience, a lot more things are going to get done with a lot less stress. That's what I believe. Because I'm finding patience, I'm finding happiness in the moment instead of I'm always looking forward, always looking forward. He does the same thing. So his no is relentless. When I say no, it's just relentless. He's going to come at me. If I can teach him a little patience, believe me, it's really going to benefit him later on in life.
You don't think he could be patiently getting a new car today?
Well, there's no
Not a
patience
new
because
car,
he's
even a
getting what he
used car.
wants. It will be a used car, but if you're giving these kids what they want immediately, that self-gratification is instant and it's never going to stop. They're never going to work for it. They're never going to go out there and have that character built behind it.
You don't think he'd be working hard even with getting him a car right now? You don't think he'd work hard? You think he'd just take it for granted and wouldn't work hard?
I'm not going to say take it for granted because I love my kids, but I think kids take advantage of the situation when they are put in that situation. They're very smart kids. I mean, these kids know a lot more than what we purport them to think they do or what have you.
I'm just thinking back to my 1966 Dodge Dart.
Was that your first car?
Yeah. It was 1974, though.
Yeah.
73.
Yeah, so it's almost a 10-year car, right?
Yeah, it was 7.
All right. Did you buy it or did your parents buy it?
I did for $600, but I worked.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to say. These 16-year-olds, there's a lot of them.
Back in those days, they didn't care. You were a kid, you worked.
That's exactly right.
Times have changed.
But times have changed, but why should we? I mean, I understand we have to adapt to it, but can't we show these kids that they should go out there and work for what they want?
Oh, I didn't say you don't. But
That's
at the
what
same
I'm trying
time,
to do. And look, I have fun with this.
This kid's a nice kid. You need to get him a vehicle.
Look,
Come on, Dad.
he's going to get his car. He's going to get his car at the right time and place.
Okay. So when he hits his birthday next year, is he getting it then?
I could possibly do that for him, absolutely. If that's what he wanted, then
Okay.
I'd do that for him.
I want you to go out and put it on your calendar today to make sure he has that vehicle on his birthday.
You never have to worry with me about numbers and dates. They're all right
all-
here. I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you.
If I don't write it down.
Well, Doug, listen, I'm sure that he'll be paying you after this is done. You know,
Well, he said he had a check that he was going to get from you.
you fully
by the
endorsed
way,
it.
one other thing as we wrap this up, 'cause
Okay.
this is the last thing. You said that he'll come to you for $20 for gas.
Yeah.
When was the last time you bought gas? God,
Yeah, I know.
it isn't-
$80.
yeah.
It's 80 to 100 every
I'm
time you
telling
fill up
you,
that
man.
tank. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. I filled up the other day for a half a tank at 41 and felt pretty good about it. So anyway.
Good stuff.
All right, we're done.
Thank you, Doug. A little surprising. You know what? I'll be more prepared next time.
You get yourself
some
ready.
boxing gloves down here.
You gave me, 5-6 days notice on this, so I was ready to go.
My reach can't reach him, guys. Thank you, Doug.
Got short-armed all of a sudden. We'll be back next time.